Hi, I'm Kerri, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple pennant banner out of material. First, you want to choose your fabrics. I wanted to add some pops of color to my front porch, so I went to the fabric store and I chose 5 fabrics. I got 1/4 of a yard of each, which should be enough for this project. You'll need your material, of course, and you can either use a mat and rotary cutter, or you can just use scissors and a ruler. And you'll need some extra wide double fold bias tape in a color that complements your material, as well as your sewing machine or a needle and thread if you want to do it by hand. I decided to make my triangles 5 inches wide by 7 inches long. In order to do that, I folded over my fabric and I measured out 7 on my board and cut. Then I have a double piece of fabric that is actually 10 across now and 7 inches long, and I'll be able to get 6 triangles out of this cut. What I'm going to do is take my ruler and measure at 5 right in the middle and just put a little mark right here. And then from the bottom, I measure in 2.5, which will be where the point is at the bottom. Make a little mark there. And then do the same thing on this side. 2.5. Just make a little line with pencil. And then I will take this and go from the top corner all the way to my little mark that I made. And with my rotary cutter, make a cut there. This is my 5-inch mark. Right there. And then from my 5-inch mark down to my 2.5-inch line. And finally, the last cut. Okay, so once you have all your triangles cut out, you're going to take 2 triangles and put them back to back with the print facing out so that your banner is pretty on both sides. And then you're just going to stitch around it to hold the 2 together. You don't have to pin it. Just do a straight stitch all the way around. Stop and line them up. And there you have one piece of your double-sided banner. Once you've finished sewing all of your triangles, you can begin to assemble your banner. On the end, I made a small loop that I'm going to sew together so that I can hang one end on a hook. You could also leave a longer tail if you just want to tie the end to whatever you're going to hang your banner on. You're going to place each of your triangles inside of the bias tape that's already folded and just put them right next to each other in the pattern that you would like, and then begin to pin it together so you can sew it in one long strip. As you can see, I looped one end of the bias tape over just to make a small loop to hang it on, and I'm just going to stitch that down a couple of times back and forth to secure it. I decided not to pin it down this time. I think it's actually easier to do it without pinning. So I just made a stack of my triangles in the order that I want them in. And I just put the first one right after the loop in the middle of the bias tape. And then I'm just gonna fold it over and start sewing. And then add the next one until I get to the end. Every time you add another triangle, make sure that the end of the previous one is matching the next one so that you get them evenly spaced apart on your banner. And here's your completed banner. Now all you have to do is hang it up.